Hello learner, greetings of the day. Let's start with a sample OpenGL program. Here we have an example of implementing a display window and a line segment generation within that display window. So let's write an OpenGL program to display a simple line segment. To begin with, we have a header file or OpenGL library that has to be defined, and the OpenGL library here we are using is glut. So the header file is glut.h, and remember this prefix, this path, this indicates the path, or this says about the GL folder under which this glut header file is saved. So here we have glut.h, the header file defined, and the OpenGL program here. To begin with, you can start with the main, or let's go step by step. Before main, let's start with this user defined function one by one. So the user defined function, you can also call this as a weaving function. Remember, this is not a predefined function, this is a user defined function, and let me call this as a weaving function. So I have named it as init. So this is a weaving function where weaving parameters are defined. So the very first OpenGL function that is defined inside this weaving function is the GL clear color. So what is this GL clear color? See here, the prefix is GL and the name of this function is clear color. The first letter clear and the first letter of color C are in caps. Remember, the OpenGL program, whenever you write, all the OpenGL functions are case sensitive. So remember about that. So GL clear color is an OpenGL function where it is used to clear the background of your display window. If this is my display window inside my within my screen or monitor, if this is a rectangular portion of the display window, that display window will have a background, and that background by default will be black in color actually. So if you don't want a black background, you can make it as a white background. Okay, if at all you want to make as a white background, remember you have to define, you have to set the color for this white background. So how exactly we set the color for the background of the display window? That is by using GL clear color function, and the parameters that we pass for this clear color function is, the first one is red R, the second parameter is green, and the third parameter is blue, and the last fourth parameter you call it as alpha. Okay, so alpha parameter. So what is this? RGB stands for red, green, blue. So what values we can set for this red, green, blue? The value ranges from 0 to 1. So if I set the value 0 to R red, it indicates that red is off. So you cannot use the red color. So R0 indicates it's off, no red color, no red component in the color. And then if I set here green 0, RGB, all three values, if I set it as 0, then it indicates that no color component at all, and clearly when there is no color component, it indicates black color. So how exactly you set a black background? It is 0, 0, 0, and the last parameter also 0. If you set, you can just say that the background is totally 0, it's black. Okay, and now as I said, the color component varies from 0 to 1. If I set a value high, that is on, and on indicates 1. So if I set the high value 1 to red, it indicates that the red component is on. Again, green also I have set it as on, so 1, and blue also have set it 1. So all three have set it to 1. So what is the meaning of that? The mixture of red, green, blue. So all three when I set as on, all the mixture of all three colors I get, and the mixture of red, green, blue is white. So if I have to set the white background, all three you should set on. So all RGB you should set on. If I want to have a red background, how do I set it? Red component only I have to set on. So red component 1, it's 1, 1.0, 1, and green 0, comma, blue I will set it as 0, and the last one I'll tell you what it is. I'll set it as 0. So what is the meaning of this? Only the red color is set to on, remaining all are off. So it indicates a red background. Similarly, if I want to have a green background, 0, 1, 0, 0 I can set. If I want to have a blue background, 0, 0, 1, 0 I can set. So this is how I set a background color. Okay, and this about this alpha. So the last parameter is alpha. This is clearly a blending function. So what is the meaning of blending here? I have a background here which can be opaque or transparent. So for example, if I take a wall, if the wall, it's a wall, so wall will be usually opaque, right? So here opaque, such type of wall or such type of background I can set, and this opaque is nothing but indicates the value 1. Okay, if I want to have a background which is transparent, so what is transparent? If I have a glass type of wall which is transparent wall, so that transparency is indicated by alpha value 0. So alpha value also will range from 0 to 1. If it is 0 alpha value, it indicates the transparent background, and if the alpha value is 1, it indicates the opaque background. So here the clear color indicates the setting of color to the background. If you don't set any color, by default it will be 0. So clear color is optional. The background color will be black if you don't call this clear color function. Let's move on to the next two functions here, which is defined within init. And what is this? This clearly indicates the weaving parameters. So what is this weaving parameters? First, remember, inside this display window, I have to display the basic geometric shape. So here, what is the question? Display a line segment. So inside this display window, actually I am supposed to draw a line. So when I say the line is actually the one, the image of a line I need to render on the display window, right? So it is something like, let's relate this to a real world concept. Okay, suppose here if you are capturing the image of any object using a camera. Suppose I have a camera and I am capturing the image of any object using a camera. So how it will be? Basically, the object, say suppose there is an object and the object is a tree. Okay, and this particular tree I want to capture now using the camera. Okay, where should be the tree? The tree should be placed exactly in front of the camera, right? Or you can say the camera should be placed exactly in front of the tree. So when the camera is in front of the tree, you adjust the camera lens in such a way that the entire tree, this object, entire tree will be focused, right? I don't want only one portion of the tree to be captured. I want almost maximum the entire tree, image of entire tree to be captured. So you will adjust your lens in such a way that the entire object is captured, right? So this camera will definitely have a boundary, right? The camera will definitely have a boundary. So your lens will be adjusted, or the camera position will be adjusted in such a way that the object will fall exactly within the boundary of the camera, right? So using the camera, entire world you cannot capture at once. So one portion only can be captured. So first you adjust the position of the camera, and then you adjust the lens of the camera such that the tree will fall under the boundary of your camera. So that you get the complete picture of the tree, or you get the entire image of the tree properly. Okay, right? So this type of setting is done actually in graphics also. So you can call this tree as as an object which is actually in a real world. So now the object in the real world, the tree which is in the real world, will have its own coordinates. So you call it as object coordinates when the object is in real world, right? So let me call this real world, wherein the real world also will have coordinates, right? This entire real world also will have a coordinate. Let me call it as world coordinates. Inside this real world, I have many objects, 3D objects. So one such 3D object is a tree. So this tree also will have its own coordinates. Let me call that as object coordinates. Let me call that as object coordinates, right? Now when I have this camera using which I am capturing this image of the tree, this camera also will have its own coordinates. Let me call that coordinate as camera coordinates. Okay, camera coordinates. Right now, what is that basically I am doing? First, from the real world, I should convert from the real world to object coordinates, and this object coordinate, whatever is represented within this real world, should be captured using the camera. So this object will be directly converted into camera coordinates once it is captured, right? So what is that? This object will be captured using the camera, and the camera, now the object will be converted into the camera coordinates. Why? Because the image of the tree will appear on the film plane of the camera, where your film plane is a rectangle portion, and that rectangle portion on the film plane, let me call that as a viewing plane, okay, which has certain boundary. So this view plane within which you get the image of the tree. So your object coordinate is completely converted into what? This viewing or this camera coordinates, right? So this transformation from the world to object to your camera coordinates is defined by this projection. Okay, right? So this is in the case of camera, right? Now let me relate this concept to my screen, computer screen. So what is that I do now? My object coordinates or the world coordinates here, which is directly converted, I want the image of this tree to appear on the computer screen, right? So my world coordinate or object coordinate should be completely converted into screen coordinates or display coordinates. This mapping of world coordinates to screen coordinates or the display window coordinates, I call that as projection. So this projection is a one which I set actually using an OpenGL function called matrix mode. So this projection is actually a matrix basically with the rows and columns. So it's nothing but representing the coordinates, x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinate, right? So the mapping of world coordinate to screen coordinate, computer screen coordinate or display window coordinate is called as projection. Without this mapping, you will never get the image of object appearing on the screen. Okay, so once your projection is set, you have to set up this viewing plane. So what is this viewing plane? It's nothing but the boundary that you are setting. Like I already said, using your camera you cannot capture the entire world. Camera will have its own boundary. That boundary setting is done over here. So what is that boundary? As I already said, inside your display window you need to have a boundary set, and that boundary is set to display the image on the display window. So what is that boundary? See, if your screen is of size width 500 and if your screen height is 500, I can set my display window height and width also to 500 and 500. That means what? Entire screen I am going to use as a display window. But then here what I have done, my display window I can set it as a smaller one, wherein my display window width and height can be a little smaller than the entire screen. Okay, so inside this display window again I will set one boundary, and that boundary is the one whose parameters are defined inside this ortho GLU ortho 2D. So what is that boundary? It is nothing but 200 and 150. So what is that? You can just say this as GLU ortho 2D parameters as left, right, bottom and top, LRBT. So what is that? Left, right, bottom and top. Left indicates this, right indicates this, bottom indicates this, and top indicates this. Left, right, bottom and top. I'm assuming one rectangular boundary inside the display window, and that boundary parameters are, from the left it is 0. That means you start from 0, bottom left 0. Okay, left is 0, and then the rightmost end I'm going to take it as 200. So along horizontally along x-axis up to 200 pixels I can generate here inside the display window. Boundary is 200. From the bottom again I'm going to take it as, the third parameter is again 0. From 0 you start, and towards the top you project, and the topmost boundary is 150. So the meaning is up to 200 x coordinates you can generate along horizontal x-axis, and up to 150 y coordinates you can generate vertically along y-axis. Okay, so y coordinates and x coordinates, x pixels and y pixels you can generate totally up to 200 and 150 respectively. So this is the boundary that you're setting, and remember all the objects that you are now going to display, or the image that you're going to display inside the display window, should have the x coordinates less than 200 or equal to 200, and all the y coordinates should be less than or equal to 150. Suppose if you want to plot any pixel here inside the display window, and if that pixel coordinates, or if the pixel information is above 200 or above 150, such pixel, such image will never appear inside this display window. So a line, if you want to generate, its information, its x coordinate and y coordinate should be less than or equal to 200 and 150 respectively. This is how you're going to plot this in order to plot the lines, the boundary should be set using this GLU ortho function. So GLU ortho 2D you call, and this is OpenGL function to set orthographic weaving. And what type of weaving boundary you are setting? It is a 2D rectangle that you are setting boundary, and remember the boundary parameters are left, right, bottom and top, and this is a 2D rectangle that you are setting as a boundary. And the projection type is GL projection, wherein you are mapping world coordinates to screen coordinates, display window coordinates. And clear color is an optional function where you set the background color of your display window. All RGB values, if it is set to 1, it indicates it's a white color. Okay, this is how the weaving function is defined in an OpenGL program. And remember, this weaving function is defined inside a user defined function called init.